What about, I mean, just going, you mentioned about your clients were your VC. You guys never, coming from New York, whenever I hear of a guy wanting to start a web app, it's like, I've got an idea, let me go find investors. That's literally 1 and 1A. And what I find unique about you guys is that that was never a stopping point. It's not like you guys stopped what you were doing and waited for this magical money to roll in. Why? And why did you do that? And secondly, how did you do it?
I can't say that was like a decision that we were like, we're never going to get funding. We know building web apps. I don't know the game of getting funding.
Yeah.
Right. So it was more natural to say, well, let's just build it.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, we're gonna learn about getting funding, and and that obviously, like, if you have users and you start paying, you don't need funding.
Yeah.
So we definitely just went right into building the application, and it's worked out. I can't say that we would never not take funding.
Yeah, sure.
But it's always been a thing of VCs will call us, and it's always been a thing of like, now with angel investors, you can get money a lot faster.
Yeah.
But in years past, if you want to get funding from a VC, it's going to take you months to land that deal, hundreds of hours. Put that into, and it's always been a thing, let's just put that into our application instead of spending the time trying to get funding that might never happen.
Yeah.
So,
what about marketing? You guys have it really unique. The way that I came across Less Accounting was, I'm an accountant, and I remember I was doing some search on online programs, and I said something about QuickBooks, something like QuickBooks, I don't know, and then Everyone Hates QuickBooks came up on the search page, and then I click on that, and I was like, this is hilarious. And it was just this Twitter stream. You guys still have it up.
still have it. It's all spam now.
Yeah, but back in the day, it was like people like, I hate QuickBooks. I cannot
it's terrible.
do it.
Got screwed by QuickBooks again, kind of thing.
But that was cool. Like that kind of David versus Goliath. Was that a deliberate marketing move? Like, okay, we're a little guy playing in. We're gonna play to this.
Well, when Twitter first came out, they didn't even have like an RSS feed, but they had a search. You could search last tweets or something, and I was like, I wonder what people are saying about QuickBooks, and it was all terrible things.
Yeah,
those are testimonials.
Yeah,
they're not tweets; they're testimonials.
It was insidious too.
Right,
it wasn't
terrible. Every
like,
one of them had like an F-bomb in the middle of it.
I hate
and I was like, we should make a site that does this. And we actually had a marketing. I think it was 2008. We had a marketing girl working with us. And she was like, we're going to get sued. And we're like, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be the best for you.
Get sued.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to be a part of this. And I'm like, this is fantastic. But we've always done little things like that. And just, we've never done too much traditional advertising. We've tried to build relationships instead of like paying for a lot of ads kind of thing. It's a lot better to impress your customers. So we put a lot of money into that.
Yeah. Well, you guys don't even have you didn't worry about the traditional conference presence and sponsor booths and sponsoring parties, which is really atypical. That's the cool story.
And when you have no money, you can't do that.
Yeah,
so your options become a lot.
Yeah.
You can make a little We All Hate QuickBooks website in a day.
Yeah.
But you can't spend $15,000 in booths.
Yeah, sure.
So our options were limited, and maybe we played to our strengths or weaknesses, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. And what about new businesses? One thing that I think is really neat about you guys is you spun, it was Less Everything, and then you Less Accounting, and then you started a new application, Less Time Spent, which we use. And now conferences, and you're talking about different things. Is it do you take the same model that you had with Less Accounting and then apply that to other businesses?
No, because you obviously hopefully get better.
Yeah.
So your model gets better and better. We made a lot of mistakes with Less Accounting. I look at myself like when I first started Less Accounting, and if someone had given me $10 million from funding or $3 million, it would have been terrible. It would have.
Why do you say that? Just out of curiosity.
I feel just now I'm figuring things out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at myself 4 years ago. I'm like, oh my god, I'm glad I wouldn't have funded myself 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. And hopefully I'll say the same thing in 4 years about myself now.
Yeah, sure.
So we do. We apply the model is we're ourselves. We put ourselves out there. Steve and I. Everything has our name on it and our faces, and you know who's emailing you because it says the guys Less Everything and our wives.
Yeah.
And we try to build things lean and simple and quickly and good enough, not perfect, and that sort of stuff. And focus on the user and bringing value and build things that we want to use.
Yeah.
And what we feel there's need for.
And how important is it? I think this is really neat. But you guys, there's no breadth of difference between Allan, Steve, and Less Accounting. You know, like you guys are the product.
Yeah.
How important is that? If somebody's starting out today, because that is not, again, that's not typically seen. You know, you guys have done it, and that's a huge strength. Do you think that's important to impute your own personality into what you do?
I don't know how scalable that is. Like, maybe in 10 years, I don't want to be like that list accounting guy. I don't know if I'm going to be that guy. So I can't say long term, but I can say that if your users know that your application is more than just code, like they know it's like, that's AJ's app, they're much more forgiving.
Yeah.
You know, loyalty is when your users know their other options and stick with you because they know you and they like you. You know, my dad owns car washes, and when someone drives past car washes to get to his car wash, that's loyalty.
Yeah, sure.
And they do that because they feel like they know him or his business.
Yeah.
And they're willing to forgive.
You're buying from that person.
Right.
Sure.
So that's why we. But now, did we say from the beginning we're gonna have the brand loyalty and we're gonna try to? No, it was always just like it feels natural. It just feels natural to say these things, and I'm not gonna pretend I'm someone else, and we're not gonna try to be professional. We're gonna try to be really good at what we do, but not adhere to the mindset of professional.
Yeah, sure.
We're gonna put ourselves out there.
And another question, just about creativity. Like I was talking to Melissa and Tony yesterday, and something really interesting about you is you talk about ideas, and you're a true creative because creative people create things.
Sure.
And some people have imagination; they can just imagine like cool things. But you guys, I mean, with your conference, like LessConf 3010, just this zany craziness, and you actually put it out there. Like, what do you think for somebody that it has? You know, these creative, crazy ideas. What is it to take an idea from sketchbook to market? How can somebody do that? How can somebody? Is it just getting over it and just?
Yeah, it's accepting that you're gonna probably fail at something. And just going for it. You know, do things that we plan a conference the way we want to plan it. It's silly.
Yeah.
The themes of the conferences don't make any sense. But it's either that or have no theme and be like, you know,
trying to follow somebody else's lead.
Right, and it's like we're not going to out-professional the really big, huge conferences, so we're going to be silly and funny. And if you don't come because the theme has, like, aliens on it, like one guy said, like, I'm not coming to a conference that says the conference is da bomb. That's not professional. I'm like, thank God. You're not coming. Because if you can't forgive us over that, then you're not going to forgive us about when lunch comes late or when Steve drops the F-bomb on stage. You're not going to forgive us for all those other things. So the themes are a nice marketing tool, but it's also a nice filter for the right people to come.
Yeah, sure.
And that's another tool. Like the way you write your site, the copy, how you put yourself out there, it's a filter, and you're filtering down to the people that you want to get.
Yeah. Well, you say right off the bat, less accounting isn't for everyone.
It's not.
You know, which is really neat. All right. So entrepreneurs, if somebody is sitting in some cubicle right now and they have an idea and they're looking at guys like you and Steve and like, man, how can I do that? I have a concept. How can I? What are tips for aspiring entrepreneurs?
So I would just, you know, if you have an idea, just build it or do it, or at least proceed in that direction, and then surround yourself by people that look after your well-being and don't match your skill set. Like, you don't want to find two people that do the same thing.
Yeah.
Steve makes all the technical decisions. I trust his technical decisions. He trusts me with. I make the majority of UI decisions, most of the marketing stuff, copywriting stuff, design stuff, and he trusts me. Right? He's not a designer. I'm not a technical guy, and we mesh really well together. And you know, the decisions I make in my life, even with buying a house, affect him. If I go out and buy a mansion or a Ferrari, and then I'm like, dude, I gotta get paid more. That affects him.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to realize it really is a marriage when you surround other people around you in your business, but surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, better than you, and then complement your skill set. And just build something really quick and lean, or whatever the business is.
Yeah.
The smaller the dice is that you roll, if you fail, we talked about the conferences, right? LessConf is a small conference, and if nobody showed up, we weren't going to lose $100,000.
Yeah, sure.
You know, the worst that could happen was we were going to break even.
Yeah.
You know, so think in the mindset. The lean startup is an interesting concept or model now that people are talking about pivoting and you know, putting a proof of concept out there and seeing who bites.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff is really interesting to me. But just do it. Like, don't be scared.
And what's the final question? As far as co-founders, I see you and Steve. You guys are so perfect for each other. And how do you people try to start businesses all the time alone, and I think that's primarily why people fail, because no one person has all the skill sets needed.
Right.
Typically, I mean, unless you're Superman, you know,
Right.
to put it all together. How important is finding a founder or a set of founders, you know, to come alongside you that fit?
Yeah, it's, you know, your co-founder should tell you when you have a booger in your nose, right?
Yeah, right.
Tell you when your shit stinks. You know, they should keep you in check. They're there to tell you no. Like, if I was the sole founder and less everything, we would just be, God knows what we'd be doing. We'd be, I'd have like a practical joke company. It'd be just 90,000 different directions. It'd be terrible. So Steve keeps me pointed in the right direction, funneled. You know, we're not doing all these ideas, Alan, and you know, he compliments my skill set. I'm great at creative writing, but I'm terrible at grammar.
Yeah.
And he proofreads my blog posts. You know, and he's terrible at multitasking. I'm great at like being in 1,000 different directions at once.
Yeah.
You know, so it's absolutely vital. At least unless you're Superman, and I don't think anyone's Superman.
Yeah.
I don't think Mark Zuckerberg's Superman.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's someone behind the curtains that's keeping someone in check.
Hell yeah. So what's next for you guys? This like 2011. What are we going to see from you guys?
Probably some more events, and some other things. Nothing too big.
Cool.
Just trying to make the applications better. The existing applications better.
Where can people find you on the interwebs or the Twitters? If they want to ask you more questions.
Yeah,
plug you.
lesseverything.com is the main website. Less Accounting is the app, and then I'm Allan Branch on Twitter.
Cool. Thanks for hanging out with us, dude.
Absolutely.